new episode of Retina Chats. I'm Mohammed Ghanim and with me Dr. Mustafa Marhali.
Hello everyone.
So today Dr. Mustafa will present a case. So tell us more about this case and what's going on.
So this is a case of a 38-year-old male with recent diminution of vision, and on examination he has a large neurosensory detachment with an outer retinal layer full thickness macular bone and impending inner retinal layer full thickness macular bone. And there was an optic bit obvious in the examination, and by OCT this was definitely confirmed. So would you operate such a case as an optic bit without this neurosensory detachment?
To be honest, I've seen cases with optic disc maculoapthy, but I didn't operate on any of them. I believe there's different pathogenesis for this entity, right? Some believe that it's due to a hole in the optic disc. Some believe that it's a CSF leak. So what's your indication? When do you operate and when do you not operate?
There are a lot of theories that discussing what is the pathogenesis of optic disc, but in young ages, in children and in like teenagers, I usually postpone them because some of them resolve completely without intervention, without doing even laser in the macular bone. But this is an old guy, 38-year-old, and he's an active, productive, he's a football player, and probably with these stressful activities, he may develop a full thickness macula. So, especially when he presented with a recent diminution of vision, because this condition probably is lasting more than the last year that he presented in. So, I tended to do this surgery and to do a double flap eyelid, flap one to cover the impending full thickness macular hole, and the other one to be stuffed in the optic disc pit, and I will also try to stuff it with a tenon graft, as we are going to see.
Okay, so your indication here that it's a recent diminution of vision, right? And it's not a chronic thing, and an impending macular hole in an active patient, right? And do you usually find that the optic disc maculoapthy resolves instantly, or does it take time?
Usually it takes like 6 to 12 months, so this neurosensory detachment starts to resolve. So because the surgery is just to block the, as you have said,
the leak.
Yes, the leak, whether it is a connection between the vitreous cavity and the CSF, whether it is a pathology that we don't know, but in most of the reports nowadays that we have to block these complication, so it may give just a resolution for the going on leakage under the macula and increasing the neurosensory detachment as we have seen in such patients.
Okay, so my experience is just like that I follow them up, and as you said, they can resolve on their own. It's still debatable. It's not a common condition that there is a lot of studies on or something. So what I do is I follow them up, and they usually resolve in a long period of time. The debate here is that if we operate, do they have a better visual outcome than not operating? That's the question.
There is no strong consensus about
yeah, since
this
it's a rare entity, there is no consensus. Yeah, but I believe that you're doing your best and trying to help the patient.
And definitely there was a preoperative counseling discussing all the scenarios, discussing that there is a risk of iatrogenic, even full thickness macula. So,
I can see that you did a very nice flap, and there's a lot of control in doing two flaps, in a flap on the macular hole and then a flap on the optic disc.
I'm adding a little bit of viscoelastic so to stabilize this one.
Viscoelastic, what kind of viscoelastic?
Viscodispersive.
Okay.
And this is also helping me because I'm going to add a tenon graft to ensure that it will fit in the disc, optic disc pit, and without any mobilization after I shift to the gas, because I'm going to leave this patient on SM6.
Okay.
So I prefer to use the tenon graft and I was preparing as well an amniotic membrane graft.
I've seen people, surgeons, put an punctured plug. Did you try this before?
I'll be honest with you. In this case, I was preparing a punctured plug, but I couldn't insert it in the eye, whether with the trocar in, with the cannula in, or even after I removed the cannula from the sclerotomy. So it's very difficult. Probably there are different sizes that can fit into this sclerotomy.
Okay.
So now we are shifted to gas and injecting the SF6 and trying to massage the sclerotomies to close.
It's a nice surgery. I believe that you have a lot of control in creating two flaps. Okay? So it's difficult to create one. You did two, so that's very nice. So how was the post-operative condition?
After 1 month, the patient visual acuity started to improve from 0.05 to 0.1, which is for me and from the reports that I have read that this is a very fast recovery. But on OCT, it was just a 130 micron decrease, reduction in the OCT from 1300 micron to I think 1100 microns. So, but we understand that it's a long-term follow-up along the 1 year, and we are taking our precautions to avoid any.
So let me ask you, if this is a leak from the vitreous, then why wouldn't we just suction up this fluid from the optic disc pit? It makes me wonder, if it's a leak from the vitreous, then if we aspirate on the optic disc pit, then it could, the fluid could be suctioned out from
this is
below
one of the theories.
Yeah.
We don't know which theory fit in this pathology, but I think that it is a very minimal tiny holes, like a mesh that is leaking this fluid from the vitreous to the subretinal fluid, that you cannot aspirate it. And in these cases as well, during the PVD injection, we usually find like a strand or a filament emerging from the optic disc, and you have to cut this filament. And this filament, when you cut it, you open this channel that you are talking about between the vitreous, but it's mandatory to remove it so you can induce the PVD.
Okay.
So I'm still observing this patient. Now it's 3 months post-operative, and he's stable, and we're going to see after 1 year.
I've seen also some surgeons, but in retinoschisis patients or extinct retinoschisis, they go with a 41 gauge needle and just aspirate the fluid. So do you believe this could be helpful in such case to aspirate the fluid rather than waiting for 6 months or 1 year? Would this make the resorption of fluid quicker or?
It's an idea, but for me it's already a complicated case to do a double INM flap and to add a tenon graft. So I don't want to add one more step that it's still a controversial one.
I believe that it's a controversial case all over, and it's an open for creativity and for everyone's creative ideas. So we've seen tenon, we've seen puncture plugs. We can do 41 gauge with aspiration, and it's a real entity. But it's something that we're trying to help the patient as much as possible. So I believe it's a nice surgery, and it's a nice try to help the patient, as long as the patient knows all the complications and knows all the post-operative expectations. Okay, so thank you very much. Stay tuned for the next one, and hope you enjoyed this episode.